commentary, weren't we, this weekend? Love that. Now, as we've just mentioned to you, Nuno was in charge at Tottenham for 124 days. It really wasn't long, was it, Matt? That is actually the 12th shortest reign as a Premier League manager. So it's Tuesday teaser time. This is what we want to know. We want to know, what is the shortest managerial reign in Premier League history? Now, we're going to throw out some bonus points today because if you can get the amount of days exactly, we'll give you a bonus point.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to get it spot on, though. And a bit of a clue, it's significantly less than 124 days. And you'd be quite surprised, I think, when you realise how short it was. As it's a Tuesday, we also ask you another question, our question of the day. And we're not quite sure it's going to be Antonio Conte as the new manager of Spurs, but I'll tell you what, the papers over here in the UK are fairly sure. This is The Sun here saying the full Conte, so they think he's coming in possibly to be announced today. I won't go through all of them because it'd take too long, but here's the Mail, Conte coup. They think that he's coming in today. And, of course, as Becky says, we'll announce that as soon as we get any information for you. But if it is Antonio Conte, we want to know from you guys, will he make a difference to Spurs? Where will they finish this season if Antonio Conte comes in as manager? We'll use the hashtag PLFans. We'll go through some of those later in the show. That's
it. Hello, welcome back to Premier League today. Right, let's talk all things Tottenham. We can go live to Paul Belveston, who was outside Tottenham's training ground for us this morning. I mean, it's the biggest headline that we've got going on in the Premier League right now, Paul. But just give us a rundown, a timeline of events, if you can, from yesterday up until right this second. What's going on?
So it was about 24, maybe 25 hours ago that the big news came through that Nuno had been told his time here was up already. The players were told 10 minutes later, and then, about this time of day, the world knew. The announcement was made that Tottenham were after a new manager, and we're led to believe that the technical director, the sporting director, Fabio Paratici, had already made contact with his former Juventus colleague Antonio Conte and said, look, we know it didn't work out over the summer, but what about now? Are you coming to us now? And within not very long at all, it seemed he jumped on a plane, headed over for talks, and all of the rumours all over social media, in all the newspapers, everything, is that the deal has been done. We're just waiting for the official announcement that could come through any second now, or maybe in a couple of hours. But we're led to believe that the man himself will take the players for training this afternoon and, of course, do his first press conference tomorrow ahead of the UEFA Conference League game against Vitesse at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Thursday.
Wow, well, that really does sound like a done deal, doesn't it, Paul? What's the hold-up at the moment, then, specifically? Do you know?
I was very tempted to come on air and give Spurs fans a bit of a heart attack and say there's been a last-minute hitch. It's none of that. It's just one of these things that clubs do. All these, they wait to do their announcement videos, don't they? And all these fancy Twitter gadgets and things, all these announcements have to be done in sort of almost Hollywood style these days. So there could be any number of reasons why there's a hold-up. Look, officially, we haven't heard that he is the new Tottenham manager, but it would be the most enormous surprise probably in Premier League history if it turned out that he wasn't then in the dugout on Thursday and for the rest of this season.
Yeah, that would be the biggest twist in this tale. But look, there was rumours of this happening in the summer and the deal didn't get done. Why not?
Well, this is a really interesting question that we've never really had an answer to, and I think in his first press conference, once all the questions over, how excited are you, what can you achieve here, all of those things, that's going to be the big burning question. Why didn't it happen? Why did you pull out over the summer? Because by all accounts there was a very honest, very exciting call, both sides excited by the prospect of him becoming the Tottenham manager in the summer, when Antonio Conte apparently even said, look, if you have any doubts over this, because I can be very demanding, walk away now, but I'm here to win and I want to do this and this is my vision and all that. And everyone left that meeting feeling very positive. That's what we're led to believe. And then, for whatever reason, the manager pulled out sort of soon after that. We don't know why. There are only probably three men who do know why: Conte, Paratici and Daniel Levy. But yeah, maybe we'll get some answers in a couple of days. I think what's changed now, Antonio Conte presumably very impressed that Harry Kane has stayed at Spurs because his future was in great doubt over the summer when those talks initially were taking place. We're led to believe that he's a big fan of Christian Romero, who came in to the back line after Toby Alderweireld left in the summer. So, you know, perhaps the landscape has changed, and also, what other options are there out there? It looks very much like PSG are sticking with Mauricio Pochettino. Manchester United, he was linked with a move there. Looks very much like they're sticking with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The landscape in Spain and Italy isn't nearly as rosy as it used to be. So maybe he's looked at the other options and thought, do you know, Spurs, they really want me. They've insisted they'll back me. I'm up for this.
It was really interesting, wasn't it, when Conte came into Chelsea and he changed the way they play. He went to 3 at the back and it turned around the team pretty quickly, really, after a bit of a dodgy start. What's going to happen, do you think, at Spurs? You know, which players are going to be most affected by him coming in? Will we see another change in formation? How do you think it's going to play out?
I think the first thing we've got to say is that he will appeal for patience, because unlike Chelsea, Inter, Juve, where he had this amazing success, this is the first time since 2007 and 8 that he's come into a club mid-season. That was at Barry. But he turned them round very quickly, led them away from relegation, and they won the Serie B title the following season. I think he will go to 3 at the back, and that must surely be good news for the likes of Reguilon, who's a fantastic wing-back. Romero, I've mentioned, he could be the leader of that 3-man defence. The likes of Harry Kane and Son, they are surely going to turn back to extraordinary form that we're used to.
Right, OK. I think that's given us plenty of meat on the bone. Cheers for that, Paul. We'll let you get into the warm. It looks a bit chilly out there. Sunny but chilly. Makes me very glad when I hear someone else without hair who's out in the cold. I'm here in the studio to know exactly how cold it is out there. Cheers, mate. We'll chat to you soon. Right, delighted to say Tim Sherwood has joined us in the studio, which is very handy because we are going to talk Spurs. First of all, we haven't spoken to you about Nuno yet, really. What were your thoughts on him being dismissed so early in his tenure?
It's always sad when a manager loses his job after 10 games. You know, it was a great opportunity for Nuno to come into Tottenham and really build his career again. I thought he was a fantastic manager at Wolves. For 2 years, he's done a tremendous job. And it didn't work out last season. So Tottenham failed to get a few of their targets and Nuno landed the job. And I thought it was a poor appointment at the time on the back of a statement what the chairman Daniel Levy put out, saying we want to get back to, you know, free-flowing, attacking football, the qualities of Tottenham Hotspur. You know, demand that. I'm not sure it was necessary to put out that statement, because then the next thing he does is employs Nuno, who's a very pragmatic, get everyone behind the ball manager and play on the counter-attack. So for me, it was a poor appointment in the first place. Feel sorry for Nuno because it's not his fault. There's different ways to play football. There's no right or wrong. But his way certainly wasn't the way that the fans want if you're not going to win every single football match. Jose Mourinho found that out, you know, and he was losing in the ground. I mean, he was top of the league by mid-December last year, and everyone thought Tottenham were going to win the league. And when the results started going poorly, they always look at the style of play, and it wasn't what the Tottenham fans demand. So he ended up losing his job as well. So if it's going to be Conte, be interesting. I think Conte's got that personality and that swagger about him to play exactly how he wants and not listen to anyone, including the chairman.
We'll see how that plays out. But are you more excited about a Tottenham under Antonio Conte?
I am, yeah. I think he's got that personality, hasn't he? You know, he makes everyone within the football club, including the chairman, including the managing director of football, Paratici, head of recruitment, everyone at that football club, including the chefs, will be accountable. He want to know what you actually do at this football club. But what he's got to concentrate on is that playing group. And I think every one of them will be made accountable and have to play some part. Otherwise, he will just discard them, push them to the side, and he will talk to the chairman and say, you need to back me. I need to find some more players because we haven't got the quality. And he will be telling him on no uncertain terms.
Well, you know Daniel Levy very well, having worked under him. How is he going to react, do you think, to someone like Conte coming in and making all these demands?
Well, we asked this question when Jose went in there. I mean, he's no more charismatic manager and successful manager than Jose Mourinho, and they seem to personally get on very, very well. It's going to be a different environment for Antonio Conte. I'm not sure he's ever seen the chairman of the club, at any club he's been at the training ground every single day, when he goes for breakfast, when he goes for lunch, and if he stays long enough, as a lot of reports are that Conte does stay there for dinners as well. Daniel Levy will be there. He'll be asking him, why are you playing free at the back? Why are you actually? And you have to, and he will know that he's not talking to a football man there in Daniel Levy. Yes, Paratici will be the buffer in between. And he's the one he's worked with before at Juventus. So I'm not sure Paratici's career at Tottenham has started very well anyway, because his first appointment was Nuno. On the back of that announcement, what the chairman made, I think it was a poor appointment. Hopefully for Paratici, this is going to be a better one.
Well, I think I read somewhere that Conte's always had a pre-season with his group of players. He's going to come in on a Tuesday. The first game is going to be Thursday, and then they've got Premier League at the weekend. What is the first thing that you do when you go into a club like this at Tottenham? What's he need to change first?
Well, he needs to get results. He needs to start winning. It gives you a breathing space there. I'm not sure how much he would have seen of Tottenham. He would have a look of a lot of videos, a lot of games, what they've had recently. He would have an idea of a few of their players, and he obviously knows he needs to get the best out of their A-grade players, which is Harry Kane and Son and Lucas Moura. I mean, they've got good players. What I will say to the Tottenham fans out there, there will be players who are there at the moment who will be unrecognisable when they're under Antonio Conte, and they'll be hoping that as well, because some of them players have been very, very poor. I think their recruitment's been terrible. It's been a scattergun approach, but saying that, some of them boys they brought into the football club under Conte, under new guidance, demanding manager, he might see different players, and let's hope so.
I mentioned this to Paul earlier. Do you think he's going to go to three at the back and completely transform the side? And if he does that, which players are going to benefit? Yeah,
I don't think formations win football matches. I really believe in that. I think it's about principles and of how the manager wants to play. Yes, he might go three at the back, but it's how they play that, how they play the style, whether it's 3, whether it's 4, whether it's 5. Doesn't matter. It's about the principles and that aggressive style, that aggressive press. Now, you don't have to, when you talk about pressing, it don't always have to be high. You have to pick a line on the field where you want to press, and I think he's aggressive with his players. They always run hard. They always leave nothing on the pitch. Otherwise, they don't perform and they don't play. I mean, he's had the beauty of having very thick squads with quality. He's going to have to identify the players he wants to bring into the club. I would suggest they're going to give him a pool of money. Otherwise, he wouldn't have agreed to come. Come January, I think he'll be allowed to go and bring some recruits in. Well,
what would constitute, then, a good season for Tottenham under Conte if it happens?
Win something. I mean, it's a great opportunity for him. They're only 5 points off of the top 4. They're in that Europa Conference League, which I think they'll win because they're playing a load of pub teams apart from Roma. You're in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup against West Ham. So there is an opportunity, a realistic opportunity that they can win something. I think they should go all out to win that Europa Conference League because that automatically qualifies you for Europa League next year. And on an outside chance, if he does miraculously well, possibly could nick that 4th spot. I think Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City are going to be in the top 3, but, Man United...
I think United fans are a little bit concerned they've just conceded a top 4 spot.
Well, no, they could do. I mean, they put some at threat now, but you never know. I mean, we all had high hopes for Jose Mourinho went in there and he didn't do well. So hopefully for Conte it turns out better.
Right, let's give you the answer of our Tuesday teaser then, which managers had the shortest reign ever in the Premier League. That's after Nuno Espirito Santo lasted just was 124 days. His was the 12th shortest. Well, Thobalani Nkobo, Okiche Joseph, Surti and Boom Malala all got the right answer. It's Les Reed from Charlton. He didn't get the right number of days, though. He actually lasted 40 days, not 41. Can you believe that? 40 days in charge.
In charge of a manager. I want to know what went so horribly wrong.
I don't
know either. That is all we've got time for Premier League today. Tim, thank you so much for joining us as always. Thank you for getting in touch. And Matt and I will catch you next time.